turntable was right here, just about right in back of us here was the turntable. And then there was the depot, that was the railroad depot, and then there was another shed down here, and that's all that was here. And then, of course, there appeared to be a lot of redwood trees along the creek here, right in back in the 1890s. Okay, next. This was a railroad timetable. There was about a train that, it was usually a daily train, and it was about a 5-hour ride. And that works out to about 16 miles per hour. But anyway, they made it, and they would lay over here on a Saturday night. They would come up the Saturday evening and then lay over until 5 o'clock Sunday morning. Okay, next, most of the crew stayed at the Cazadero Hotel. And this hotel was located right up by the monument, right in the big flat area there where Fort Ross Road and King Ridge Road and Denver Highway meet. And it was on the back of the hill. So this face, the face of the building was looking east. And that's where the hotel was for many years. So the crew was staying here overnight, and this is the engine. This is not the exact engine that was involved in the accident, but this is very similar to it. And this is the turntable. Like I said, it's right in the back there. And there was a little shed there. Next. And this was engine number 9, and it was called the Milton Latham. And he was a very well-to-do man, and he was a governor of California. In fact, he was the shortest serving governor in the history. 5 days. You know, that 5 days. He was, the first thing he had done was he had the, oh, wait, maybe, okay, we're getting on. Just a minute, we'll go to these. This is, and you've seen this in the Sacramento Train Museum. And this is actually one of the engines from the North Pacific Coast. Next one. Yeah, see, and as you come in the museum there, this is probably I think the first engine you see, and it's kind of fun to see this and know that was in Cazadero. Okay, let's see, next one. Yeah, here's the Senator Henry Latham. And he was, like I said, a governor for 5 days. He had the legislature appoint him to take over and become the United States Senator from California because the previous senator had just been killed in a duel on the San Mateo, San Francisco County line. I think there's a monument out there of this duel there today. And he died before the accident. He died in 1882, so he wasn't around when the accident occurred here. Now, of course, George Montgomery had a lot of influence and history here in Cazadero. He bought the town in 1888 from Ingrams, who built the hotel, and he bought all the land. It was about 1,200 acres from the music camp area all the way beyond the monument here. And he was going to subdivide it into lots and everything, and he did, and a lot of them were sold, and has his name on it. He was a member of the Bohemian Club in San Francisco, and he lived at the Palace Hotel, and he had owned mines in Mexico, and he was a very well-to-do man. And he had, when he bought the place here, he became a Christian man, and he put a lot of restrictions on the deeds. When you bought land here, you couldn't have liquor or alcohol or things like that. And he married a lady just right after he bought the land here, and her name was Carrie. She was a very well-known evangelist of her day. And we're always wondering about Elam Grove. We always hear that Elam Grove was his name is called that because it's miles spelled backwards. Well, that's true. It is miles spelled backwards, but that's not the way the name was named. Jerry named it from Exodus 15:27 from the Bible. And here's that when they came to Elam, then they came to Elam where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped near the waters. Well, that's pretty good. You just changed palm trees to redwood trees, and you pretty well got it now. So that's where Elam Grove got its name. This is the first, probably the second bridge at Elam Grove, the railroad bridge. The first one probably washed out, and they had big floods and storms around 1880, around 1879 and 80. There were big floods and probably took out the first bridge. And this is probably the second one. And this is looking upstream. The bakery, Raymond Bakery, is just to the right. And then, of course, next, this is the bridge that's here today. And this is from the same angle as that one. And this is looking upstream also. Okay. This is the exact location where the train went through the trestle here. This is a typical train, not the locomotive that they used that night. And you can see all the piers and the post here. The next one shows it close up. You can kind of see how this would catch all the debris and everything, which it did. Okay, there's another picture of the bridge. That man is standing probably right where the accident occurred. This is looking south, and the bakery is right over here. And then just around the curve here was the Elam Grove Hotel. It was across the railroad from where the bakery is now. So of course, Casdero Highway is the actual railroad bed. So from the Russian River up to right here, you can tell that the road is level and there's not a lot of sharp curves. It's a nice railroad bed. Hey, come up. We're having a good time in here. We're trying to have a good time in here. And this is a plan of the railroad. Is the heavy black line coming around here, and of course Austin Creek, and this is St. Elmo Creek, and Kramer Road is right here, and Pond Road comes up here, and the bakery is right here to orient you. And there's where the Elam Grove Hotel was, right there. And right now that's where the parking area, and then right back is the suspension bridge where you walk across to the music camp. Next is just kind of an enlargement of this area, and you can see how much of a curve that the road is here. It's about 180 degrees from here over to here as you come around. So this was one of the sharpest curves in the whole system, right here. Next. Yeah, here's the Elam Grove Hotel, about 1913. And of course the railroad stopped up right here at the platform here. And this is looking south. And the hotel could accommodate probably about 50 to 70 people in the hotel here. And it was, of course, yeah, here's, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this is, of course, the new bridge right here, but you can see what a curve this is. Okay, next. So it was a very stormy night when they were staying up here that Sunday night, and it was probably up like this, or maybe even more. And I think I took this picture. This is a family picture from 1951. This is taken from the Elam Grove Bridge, looking upstream. And then this is what happened when the train went through. this picture or a sketch was in the newspaper. The San Francisco Examiner, they sent up their artist to sketch it. So this is the only actual recording we have. This is about 3 days, or 2 days after the accident, and the water went down. Because when the accident occurred, the water was right up to the bridge here, which is about 20 feet high. Okay. And so there was a lot of press on it, on the accident. These are from San Francisco newspapers. That sounds like my phone.
It is.
Is that my wife? So there were a lot of write-ups in the newspapers. These are 2 San Francisco newspapers. It was in the LA newspapers, and the next one shows that it's in the New York newspaper also. Let's see what's next. We're following along here. Let's see where we are. Okay. So anyway, backtracking a little bit, the crew was having their evening meal at the probably at the train station here, because there was one piece of. Anyway, that's something else. But anyway, so they were talking about going out to check the line to see how the railroad was to leave when they were going to leave Monday morning. So they went out Sunday night, and there was a lot of discussion whether they should go or not. But they decided to go, and so there were 5 railroad employees that got on the locomotive, and there were 3 local guys that got on. So there were 8 of them in the engine. 8 guys in the engine. Yeah, I think that's right. And so then they started down the track, and they got as far as the bridge. And the conductor got out with a lantern, and he said, you know, for them to wait there, and he walked across to be sure the bridge was there. And he walked across it, you know, he got across to the other side. And then there's a lot of confusion as to what happened, whether he really signaled for them to cross or whether he told them not to come. But anyway, the engine started across the trestle, and it was all eroded, and the piers were washed out underneath, and as you saw there, it collapsed. So the engine went into Austin Creek there, and so it was dark. It was about 7 o'clock at night or so. And so the conductor was frantic. He didn't know, he didn't know what to do. So eventually he ended up down in Duncan's Mills. That's where they were headed, to Duncan's Mills, and the locomotive. But so anyway, the people show up the next morning, Monday morning, at right here, the depot. The depot was probably right in this area where we're standing right now. So people started showing up for the train, and they didn't see any of the employees, and they didn't see the locomotive. So one of the guys said, well, let's walk down the line and see what's going on. So they get down to the bridge, and they see it's gone. Some of it's gone. But they couldn't see the engine because the water was still up 20 feet there. It hadn't gone down yet. So they started scampering around, and meanwhile, like I say, the conductor got down to Duncan's Mills, to the train station down there. And so then they telegraphed the accident and what had happened. Of course, the people up here couldn't get the information. It's a telegraph operator in the station here. He was on the locomotive, and he was on the ground. So eventually the word got out, and they formed a rescue party here, and men started going down there looking for their bodies. And the first day, they found William Thomas Brenner. You probably looked at this, and they were younger fellas. They were 21 was the youngest, the oldest was 41. Anyway, he was one of 6 children. And then the first day, they also found another body in the creek, Thomas Caldwell Collister, and he was from Occidental. And this was to be his last day on the railroad, Monday.
Oh.
It was his last day. He was going to start working for his father in Occidental, who was also worked on the railroad, but I think he did some other work also. And so he is, let's see, the next one, he's...
Missing photo.
Well, pretend like there's a picture of a gravestone here of Thomas. And he's buried in the Sebastopol Memorial Lawn Cemetery right next to the Luther Burbank Experimental Gardens there. I got a picture here. Yeah. Oh, where did it go? Okay, and then the next day, they found the postmaster, the Casero postmaster, and I love the name, Thomas Jefferson Gould. And he was postmaster only, he became postmaster in November, so he was only here a few months when he got in the accident. The water had gone down in the creek, so on Tuesday they were able to see the stack of the locomotive and stuff. And that's when that picture was sketched by the newspaper. He was at one time he was a blacksmith, and one of his distant relatives, Gould, was Jay Gould, who was a real railroad tycoon of the era, and owned many railroads and stuff. And he was at the time he was the 6th richest American. And the post office was right in here in the Casero Hotel for quite a few years. And after this burned down,
Thank you.